Today I'm going to teach you how to do the one shoulder duck out. I've had a handful of requests for this tutorial, and normally what I like to do is point people in the direction of Sapphire's tutorial for this, because that is how I learned, and I think it is an excellent tutorial that covers everything I could certainly tell you about this move, but I'm gonna tackle it anyway because you asked and because I do have a few things to add. But 90% of what I'm going to say is what I learned from Sapphire. So this is Sapphire's method. You don't necessarily have to have shoulder hooping down to learn this move, but you do want to at least be able to neck hoop. And Sapphire recommends leaning back and rocking back and forth so that you have space for your shoulders as the hoop is going around your neck. The first thing you want to practice is called building your wall. You have to create the space for the hoop to go around your shoulder, and the way you can practice that is by keeping the hoop around your neck but popping your shoulder up when the hoop crosses your arm. It's a good idea to lean slightly to the side when you're building the wall so that you can build it even taller. This is way more space than this, right? Yeah. You want to build the wall with whichever shoulder the hoop is spinning toward. So I hoop to the left, I'm gonna build the wall with my left shoulder. If you hoop to the right, you're gonna build the wall with your right shoulder. Incidentally, any right hoopers out there, Sapphire's tutorial is done to the right. The next step is learning the timing for when you want to drop your head. You can practice the timing without worrying about your hoop flying into your favorite lamp by holding one arm out of the hoop as you practice. If you hoop to the left, this is going to be your left arm. If you hoop to the right, it's going to be your right arm. You're going to want to drop your head when you have the most amount of space to drop your head into. That occurs when the hoop is resting on your armpit. You have the whole entirety of the hoop to just drop into. However, our minds work a little bit slower, so you may want to focus on dropping your head when the hoop is crossing your chest, because by the time you get your head dropped, it will have already crossed over to your armpit and you should have plenty of time and space. Here's where I'm going to add my own personal findings. You need to drop your head. 9 times out of 10 where people screw up in this move when they're first learning is they're afraid to completely drop their head. You're uncertain and the hoop hits you in the head. So you've really got to commit to dropping your head. Pretend you're a rag doll and you'll want to pull your head back in at that same point in the hoop's rotation. So as it's about to cross your armpit, you'll pull your head back up. Sapphire recommends a count every time it crosses the space you need to drop or lift. Count now, 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 so that when you're actually practicing this, you can go now, 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 drop, up. And don't forget while you're dropping your head out to also lean away from the arm that's pointed up. And now comes the fun part, putting them together. This is where I'm going to add my second biggest piece of input to this particular move. As you practice this move just on the shoulder, your hoop is going to fly off a lot. I highly recommend practicing outside, somewhere that you have plenty of open space and nothing breakable in sight. I also encourage you to not get discouraged by the hoop flying off of your shoulder. Instead, practice your reflexes. If you notice the hoop is slipping off, reach out your arm and try to catch it. It doesn't matter where you catch it, the front of the hoop, the back of the hoop, whatever, but if you can get that reflex of reaching out and catching the hoop when it starts to fall, then it's not going to look like a mistake if you ever take this into a performance. Okay, so to actively combine the two, you're going to tip to the side. I'm a little teapot. That's not I'm a little teapot, this is. You're gonna tip to the side and build your wall. And you're gonna drop your head in the same rhythm you practiced with your arm out. So when the hoop is crossing your chest, you're gonna drop your head, let the hoop roll around your shoulder, and when it's coming back across your arm, you're gonna pull your head back in. This move will take some practice, but I personally feel that, like, compared to chest hooping and shoulder hooping, this move is relatively easy to learn, and it looks super impressive. Just for funsies, here's some footage of one of the first times I nailed this trick. it'll feel like. So get practicing, have fun. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If there's any specific move or method you'd like me to cover in a future tutorial, let me know in the comments. If you want to buy a hoop from me, don't forget that I have an Etsy store where I sell hula hoops, both beginner and advanced and polypro. It is justhoops.etsy.com, and I have hoops in a bunch of fun and nerdy themes, including My Little Pony. This is my Pinkie Pie hoop, and I will see you next time. Happy hooping! She says as she knocks the tripod over.